Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala Rasulihil Kareem. So we're moving on to hatta. So hatta is a harf al-ma'ani of hatta. Okay. So hatta is for lil ghaya. And ghaya means the ending point. It shows you the ending point where the verb concludes or comes to an end. So we have hatta. Now, with hatta, there's a few possibilities. If hatta, the shara'it of hatta are met, what are two shara'it? The two shara'it. One shart is ma qablaha qabilun lil imtidad, meaning what is before hatta can be extended, it's stretchable. Okay? And the after one after that is what is after hatta is something that can actually be the reason or something where the fail comes to an end. So two conditions again. Number one, the verb before hatta is something which extends, is stretchable, number one. And number two is what is after hatta is actually something which can be a ghaya. It can be an ending point. In those two conditions, we will say hatta is in a haqiqi meaning. Hatta is a haqiqa. Hatta is a haqiqa and it's for ghaya. What is it? It is for? It's a ghaya, it's a haqiqi meaning. जी, it's a haqiqa. It's for haqiqa. فهمت؟ जी. Okay? अच्छा. Number two is if فقدان الشرط بمعنى. Let's say for example, the shart meaning is possible, but like if you take the haqiqi meaning, it doesn't work. Or something is stopping the haqiqi, the two shart from being found. What we will say is, you will say the mani, take it in a majaz meaning. You'll understand the examples later on. I'm trying to summarize at the beginning. So really, the wujud shart, you have two. Or if the shart is not being found because of some kind of problem, and you can do a ta'wil of that, you will do ta'wil, and then say, you do ta'wil of the mani, and then say hatta is for ghaya as well. Okay? And if the shart is not found, meaning ma qablahu is not qabilun lil imtidad, and ma ba'dahu is not salihun lil ghaya. What is before hatta cannot be stretched. What is after hatta is not capable of being the ghaya. In this situation, what do we say? We either say after hatta is a jaza, and ma qablu the shart, meaning of shart and jaza. Or we say it's for harf atf. It's for atfun mahdun. Fahim? Yes? Is this summary making sense? And it'll fit in as you go along. Acha. The next so hatta lil ghaya ka ila. And he's explaining what I just mentioned before. إذا كان ما قبلها قابلا للامتداد, what is before hatta can be stretched. وما بعدها يصلح غاية له, or what is after hatta is suitable to be a ghaya. It can be an ending point. In this situation, we will say كانت الكلمة عاملة بحقيقتها, i.e. for ghaya. And we say hatta is a haqiqi meaning. So this is basically this is the masafa, the distance, or the fa'il. Then we have the ghaya, the ending point. If this is qabilul imtidal, it's stretchable, it's actually a stretchable verb. It extends over a long period of time. For example, usalli, I will perform salah. When will I perform salah until the adhan? I will perform my nafil salah of zuhr until the muazzin gives adhan for zuhr. Yes? So now, salah, it extends. Salah can be stretched. It is stretchable. Salah is stretchable. And adhan is an ending point. That's something when you hear the adhan, you say, okay, I need to stop now because adhan for maghrib is going on, iqama. Or even say, for example, you say al-iqama. That'll be easier. When the iqama comes, then that's the reason you stop the verb. So far, everybody follow? Make sense? Acha. Asumu, another example, I will fast. This is stretchable. And the ghurub is also the ghaya. That's where the fail will come to an end. So in this scenario, we will say hatta is for ghaya. An example of this, Imam Muhammad rahmatullah alayhi says, abdi hurrun. So if a person says abdi hurrun, yes, my slave is going to be free. If I do not hit you, illam adribka. So now this is ma qabla hatta. So this is Yes? Until, now he says until. يشفع فلان حتى تصيح حتى تشتكي بين يدي. So, if I do not hit you until any of these 3 points, or hatta the night comes. Now let's look at this example here. Now the word daraba yadribu, does that extend or is not extend? Daraba is not stretchable. It's not stretchable. It's not extend. It's not extendable. However, what can you do? You can have takrar. You can have takraru darb. Continue to hit. So the darb, you just do darb, 1 second, 2 seconds, it hits and finish. But you can have takrar of the darb. You can have takrar of the darb. And then that makes it extendable. So in essence, darb is not extendable, but by takrar it becomes extendable and it has imtidad. So therefore, adribu now becomes qabilun lil imtidad. And then all of these are reasons where darb will come to an end. I'm going to keep hitting you until the other person says, begs for mercy, do not hit him. Or until you scream, or until you complain, stop hitting me, or until the night falls. So all of these are yasluhu lil ghaya. All of these are yasluhu lil ghaya. Yes? And this is not qabilun lil imtidad by itself, but via takrar, it can be extendable. So in these examples, we will say hatta is for its original meaning. Okay? So in these examples, كانت الكلمة عاملة بحقيقتها. The word will have its original meaning. Why? لأن الدرب بالتكرار يحتمل الامتداد. So even though primarily on its own, takrar, darb cannot have darb is not mumtad, but it becomes mumtad, imtidad, qabil al-imtidad, because of takrar. That's the first shart is being found. The second shart is shafa'atu fulan and amthaluha tasluhu ghayatan lid-darb. Yes? So therefore, he says, my slave is free if I do not continue hitting you until those times. Therefore, if he stops, his slave will be free. فَلَوْ امْتَنَعَ عَنِ الدَّرْبِ قَبْلَ الْغَايَةِ حَنَثَ meaning عَبْدُهُ حُرٌّ. His slave will become free. Yes? Does everybody understand that one? Is that clear? Online, on site, everybody following? Acha. Example number 2. وَلَوْ حَلَفَ, he takes an oath. لَا يُفَارِقُ غَرِيمَهُ حَتَّى يَقْضِيَ دَيْنَهُ. He will not separate, he will not leave his ghareem, the person who owes him money, until he fulfills his debt. فَفَارِقَ قَبْلَ قَضَاءِ دَيْنِ حَنَثَ. If he just leaves him before he pays the dain. Because it's a simple example. Because faraqa, you can say adamul mufaraqa is mumtad, it extends. Yes? And ada'ud dain is a reason and for the ghaya, it's just lil ghaya. So in these situations and these scenarios, we will say that the verb, the hatta is in haqiqatiha. Acha. فإذا تأذر الأمل بالحقيقة لمانع كالعرف. Like if the haqiqa meaning of hatta is not possible because of mani. For example, if he says, I will hit you until you die or until I kill you. Now, the original rule is, this is not really to do with hatta, this is basically haqiqa and majaz. Haqiqa mahjura basically. Look at it here. It's haqiqa mahjura basically. Yes, haqiqatun, both is haqiqa and mahjura. If someone says, I'm going to kill you, what does that mean? I am going to punish you or I will pursue you. So, in theory, he will break his oath unless he hits him until he dies or he kills him. But because we know hatta, when a person says this in our urf, it doesn't mean murder. It means here, I'm going to beat you badly. Yes? So we say here, humila ala darbi shadi bi'tibad al-urf. So this is an example of hatta, but it's not really affecting the meaning of hatta, it's really affecting the meaning of the haqiqa and the majaz of hatta yamuta in this context. So in this situation, we will say that yamuta and yaqtula is haqiqa mahjura, and it no longer means maut or qatl, it means here darbu shadid. Yes? Achha, now next masla comes. وَإِن لَمْ يَكُنِ الْأَوَّلُ قَابِلًا لِلْإِمْتِدَادِ. If the first situation is not قابلا للإمتداد, is not extendable. Achha. Or the second after hatta is not salihun lil ghaya. It does not become it can't become an ending point. We say saluha al-awwalu sababan وَالْآخَرُ جَزَاءً. Then, okay, we say, well, can it be a jaza? Because remember we said before, it's either jaza or atf. So we see, well, so if it can't be, because of one of these two shart not being found, we've got two possibilities. If the first can be a sabab and the second can be a jaza, shart, sabab, jaza, we will say the hatta for jaza'iyya. If not, we'll go to the last situation where it becomes atf. Example, Imam Muhammad rahmatullah alayhi mentions, he says, إِذَا قَالَ لِغَيْرِهِ أَبْدِي حُرٌّ. Same example. I will continue, my slave will be free if I do not continue doing this until that happens. In these situations, Imam Muhammad rahmatullah alayhi says, so what's the translation of this text? It means here, if I do not come to you, yes, if I do not come to you until you feed me, okay? If I do not come to you until you feed me. Now we say here, let's look at a table here. So we have again our imtidar and our ghaya. Now, lam atika mean if I do not reach you until you feed me. If I say, okay, let's say for example, if I said lam atika hatta al-layl, if I do not come to you by night, then my slave is free. If he gets there before night, then the slave is not free. If he doesn't get there by night, the slave is free. Because layl is yasluhu lil ghaya. But if you say lam atika hatta tughaddiyani, feeding somebody that's not the ending point of coming to him. Lam atika, if I do not come to you until you feed me. So it's like I have to come to you before you feed me. It's like, that's not what this means. This kind of shows because hatta has a meaning of jaza, like hatta, so that. This makes more sense. If I do not come, so this is not la yasluhu lil ghaya. That's not a ghaya. It makes more sense to have it as a jaza, meaning if I do not come to you so that you feed me, then my slave is free. What does the first statement mean? It means here tughaddiyani. It means here lam atika hatta tughaddiyani. It will give the meaning of what? What's the meaning that it will give? The meaning it will give is, it will give the meaning of, I come to you and you feed me. So therefore, if he comes but he doesn't feed him, what do you say here? Yes. So you go back to the text. It says here, if he comes to him for atahu, but it's not simply atika, but he didn't feed him, then that means he hasn't fulfilled the oath, because this hatta is not for a ghaya. Hatta is like a jaza. Yes, because the haqiqi meaning of you feeding me, I come to you, you feed me. You feeding me is actually not a reason for it to stop coming, logically. Actually, feeding somebody is actually a reason to come even more. So it's not really the ghaya of atika. That's why Imam Muhammad rahmatullah alayhi is saying, if he came to him, the first part is found. But this is not the ending point or the ending time frame. This is actually the reason. So basically he has to go to him and feed him. فَلَمْ يُغَدِّ. If he doesn't feed him, the person is supposed to go to, we will say actually that it hasn't come about. So therefore, he will not be hanith. Why? Because it will not take place. حَتَّى تُغَدِّيَنِي. But if you fed him, then the slave will be free. Because it's إِلَّمْ آتِكَ حَتَّى تُغَدِّيَنِي. If I do not come to you and you feed me so that you feed me, then my slave is free. Fahimt? So if you look at it here, go back over here now. So he says, لا يحنث. Why? لأن التغذية لا يصلح غاية للإتيان. Because if you look at it logically, rationally in ma'na, not just the wording, the ma'na, حتى تغذيني is not usually something which becomes the ending point of coming. Are you following? Rather, logically, هي داء إلى زيادة الإتيان is okay, you feel mashallah, you're very hospitable, I'll come to you more often. Rather, وَالصَّلُوحَ جَزَاءً, and it is better to be a jaza. So therefore, if it says a jaza, if I do not come to you and for you to feed me, then that's the meaning we're going to take. فَيَكُونُ بِمَعْنَى لَامِ كَيْ, in the meaning of لَامُ الْكَيْ. فَصَارَ كَمَا لَوْ قَالْ إِلَّمْ آتِكَ إِتْيَانًا جَزَاؤُهُ التَّغْذِيَةِ. Yes? So, فَصَارَ كَمَا لَوْ قَالْ, it is as if he said, إِلَّمْ آتِكَ, if you do not come to me, or if I do not come to you, إِتْيَانًا مَفْعُولٌ مُطْلَقٌ, such a coming whose consequence is تغذية, whose consequence is feeding, then my slave is free. For him. So if he doesn't feed him, then the custom is broken. Because this hatta is not for ghaya, it's actually for sabab. So therefore it's basically all has to come. If I do not come to me and you do not feed me, If I do not come to you, which leads to you feeding me, then it's going to happen. Does that make sense? Everybody following online? Any questions online? G. Yes, you understand? Let me know if you're understanding. Okay. Okay. Moving on. So we said here, the haqiqi meaning is ghaya. The first majaz meaning is jaza. The second majaz meaning is atf mahdh. وَإِذَا تَأَذَّرَ هَذَا. Yes, the ghaya and the imtidad is not being found. We will say it's al-atf al-mahdh. It's just going to be hard for atf. So you have imtidad. Now here, he says it like same thing here. إِن لَمْ آتِكَ حَتَّى أَتَغَدَّى. Now in the previous one is you, the first one was the fa'il. You will feed me. Yes, you will feed me. حَتَّى تُغَدِّيَنِي. Here's أَتَغَدَّى. I have lunch. I eat. So now, eating is not the ending point of coming. And it can't be a jaza because I am doing the action in both cases. It's not you can do something to me. So in this situation, if I do not come to you, hatta, i.e. wa. If I do not come to you and do not eat. Yes? So in this situation, إذا قال عبدي حر إن لم آتك حتى أتغدى إنك اليوم وإن لم تأتني. Oh, he said, إن لم تأتني حتى تغدى إني اليوم. Or you don't come to me and you don't eat. Same fa'il. Here, تأتني أنت ذا فاعل in here. أنت ذا فاعل in here. In both of these situations, same fa'il. So it can't be a jaza. So therefore it's going to be at mahd. So in this situation, if he comes, but he doesn't eat, the custom will break. He has to do it himself. وذلك, why? لأنه لما أضيف كل واحد من الفعلين إلى ذات واحد. Each of them have been attributed to the same person, meaning there's one fa'il. لا يصلح أن يكون فعله جزاء لفعله. Your own فعل cannot be the jaza of your own action. فيحمل على الأطف المحض فيكون المجموع شرطا للبر. So you have to do both of them to complete the amal. Does that make sense? Yes? That is the word of hatta. Anybody have any questions regarding this? Okay. Subhanallah wa bihamdi subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta wa nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.